Hello, my friends. Welcome to 30 Days of Yoga with Courtney. I'm Courtney Birdie. And today's day 4. We're just going to combine all of the things that we've done into a solid flow that you can do in the morning before you leave for work or after you come home. Just 20-25 minutes of warm up and sun salutations. So get something comfy, get your blocks, and let's get started. We'll begin seated at the top of the mat. For the purposes of this video, I'll be facing you to start. And if you usually bring one foot in front of the other as your dominant seat, switch the cross of your legs to bring the less than dominant foot in front. This will start to rewire your brain to be a little bit more present. You might have a block underneath the sits bones to lift the hips in order to allow the spine to be nice and tall. And start just by noticing what you hear outside of the room, or if you're outside. Notice what you hear inside your mind. And for the duration of our practice, let's try to allow the breath to be a little bit louder than everything else. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Take another sip of air. Exhale out the mouth. And another inhale. Hold the breath. Take another sip of air. Exhale out the mouth. One more time, breathing in. Hold the breath. Another sip of air. Let it go. And if you'd like, you can set an intention or a sankalpa for your practice today. Breathing in, let's lift the arms. Let the belly be nice and active here and squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine, softening them down. So you might bend your elbows a bit and then use the muscles in the triceps to start to straighten the arms instead of compromising your shoulders. And bring the hands all the way down to center. Let's try that a little bit more fluidly. Breathing in. Exhale. Palms down through heart center. One more time. Breathe in. Lift the hands. Soften the shoulders down. Palms down through heart center. Very nice. Keeping your palms at heart center, shoulders back and down, and belly very active. Take a deep breath in all the way down to the low belly or to Mula Bandha, activating Mula Bandha at the base of the spine. We can talk more about that in another video. I'll put a little link in the description box when that's made. Exhale to twist to the right, keeping your hands and your chin aligned center. So what we do by keeping everything aligned center is we start to activate these muscles in the side body, the obliques, the lats, and use the core to twist rather than forcing with the arms. This is good for injury prevention as well as strengthening over time. Breathe in, lift a little taller. Exhale, twist just a little bit more, softening the knees down, and then we'll drop the hands. And now see how it feels to lift the spine, tucking the chin slightly, squeezing belly towards the spine, and using the hands to exhale and twist a little deeper. Gaze out over the right shoulder. Good. And just notice what happens when you let your arms get involved in the process versus when you use only those muscles in the side body. Breathe in to come back to center, palms to heart center. Sit up nice and tall and exhale, twisting to the left, keeping the hands in the chin center. Same thing. Feel those muscles right here underneath the shoulder blades, right here around the ribs. Sit up nice and tall, breathing in. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Still same thing, chin center, hand center. Good. Inhale, sitting up a little taller. And exhale, twisting to the left. Gaze out over the left shoulder, dropping your hands now. Notice how it feels to shift into that aid from the hands. Good. Gaze out over the right shoulder first and come back to center. Inhale to lift the hands. And then exhale and forward fold. You can tense your fingertips, allow yourself to fold forward. And from here, we'll come off the blocks. Breathe in to lift the head. And as you exhale, walk your hands to the right. Try to keep both sits bones grounded. Let the left hand reach a little further than the right. And breathe in to lift again. Exhaling all the way over to the other side. Same thing, right? Fingertips might reach a little further than the left. Both shoulders are squared down to the mat. And walk your hands to center, inhaling to come all the way back up. And just to make sure our joints are all happy before we move fully into our flow, let's take some circles in the wrists. And take those circles the other way. And then bring the backs of the hands together, fingers pointing down, and draw the elbows down to the ground, opening the backs of the wrists. You can also allow the left ear to drop over to the left shoulder. Breathing in. Exhale, drop the chin down across the chest. And inhaling to bring the right ear up to the right shoulder. Letting the shoulders stay soft, down away from the ears. So you can take half circles back and forth, warming up the neck. And then drop the hands to the knees and just take full circles with the neck. Trying to stay nice and long in the spine and relaxed in the shoulders. So we're isolating the muscles in the neck. Wonderful. Lastly, we'll bring the fingers or palms face up. Bring the fingers down towards the ground and push your hands into the ground with your fingers facing your shins so that you can open up the wrists here. If you'd like, you can come fully over into your tabletop, tucking your toes and maybe rock a bit back and forth. And here's where we'll start to get started in our flow. So fingers facing the back of the room, toes tucked or untucked. You can drop the belly, inhale to gaze up. Exhale, round the spine. And let's turn the hands over from here. So fingers facing forward now. Your hands and your wrists are directly under your elbows and your shoulders. Knees are directly under the hips. Drop the belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine and open the heart as you inhale. Gaze towards the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone. Round the belly into the spine, chin to chest. Cat and cow. Take some cat cows. Letting your spine get nice and happy. And then bring the knees as wide as the mat, toes together, and sink the hips back, extending the arms long, and letting the forehead come down to the mat. Child's pose. Let the belly fill the space between your thighs as you breathe in, and let it empty out entirely as you breathe out. Wonderful. From here, plant your hands, come up to your tabletop and tuck the toes. We'll exhale to lift the hips to downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, we've talked about this before. We spread the fingers nice and wide. The base of the index fingers and thumbs is maintaining most of the weight. And we're pushing the heart towards the thighs, taking the weight out of the shoulders essentially by keeping the shoulders squeezed towards the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Your heels might be up here. That's totally fine. And you can bend the knees as much as you need to be able to keep the spine long. Hollow out the belly. And if you want to squeeze Mula Bandha or that energy lock, it's like doing a Kegel exercise. Or imagine if you had to use the bathroom, you're squeezing to try to hold it. We're breathing in energy up through the feet, up through the hands, up through the legs and arms, and it meets at the base of the spine in our downward facing dog, locking that energy into Mula Bandha as we squeeze the perineum. Try to find ease in the pose by coming back to your breath. Breathe in, lift the heels, bend the knees, and gaze towards the top of the mat. We'll step the right foot all the way through. And if you generally have difficulty stepping your foot up to the top of the mat, I recommend using blocks to bring the floor just a little bit higher so we have more room to be able to step that foot up. Make sure your ankle is underneath your knee. Drop your left knee, untuck the toes. If you tend to be directly on top of the knee, try to send the hips forward. Again, keeping this in a nice straight line so the joints are stacked, protecting our joints. Inhale to lift the hands. And here your hips can be quite heavy, or you can try to activate the thigh, the hamstring where it meets the glute a little bit more to build strength rather than more flexibility. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, drop them down. Your hands can face the back of the room or palms together. And then if your low belly is wanting to stick out, let's bring the ribs in so that we're nice and long in the spine. Good. Plant the hands on your blocks or the floor. Exhale to straighten through the right leg, pulling the toes up towards the ceiling. Keeping the spine nice and long. If you tend to round in the back a lot here, lift up on your blocks so that you can keep a nice straight spine. One more time, I'll probably mention this a lot. Keeping the spine straight as you fold, bringing the heart towards the top of the thigh, is going to bring that stretch more into the leg than if you were to round. Rounding will bring it more into the back. So breathe in, lift halfway, bend into the right knee. We'll tuck our left toes and lift that left knee off the ground and step the left foot up to meet the right. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, forward fold, pushing into the heels. Again, maintaining the connection of the upper body to the thighs. So you might be here. Let the head hang. Shake the head, no. Shake the head, yes. Breathe in and lift halfway. We're really pulling the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to. So you might be here, and we want to feel active in the belly so we're not taking any strain in the low back. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Maybe your hands are on your shins or blocks or your thighs. And I like to exhale and bend the knees. Inhaling, lifting the hands. Chair pose. Squeeze the inner thighs. Squeeze the low belly. And send the hips forward so that your tailbone's not jutting out as well as you can. We're lifting the heart. And if you gaze down, you should be able to see your toes. If not, we'll send the hips back a little bit further. Engage the inner thighs. Lift the chest. Good. Inhale. Come all the way to standing. Squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings together. Keep the low ribs in and down. Lift the heart. Just a little back bend. And exhale, palms to heart center. Tadasana. Good. Let's do that going down on the mat with a little less instruction. Breathe in, lift the hands. Exhale, sink the hips, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale to fold, keeping that connection of the torso to the thighs. Let the head hang. You can clasp behind the calves. Breathe in, lift halfway. Plant the hands, use your blocks if you need to. We'll step the right foot all the way back. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale to lift the hands towards the ceiling. Gaze towards your hands. Low ribs in and down. Hips get heavy. And then exhale, plant your hands on your blocks or the floor. Straighten through the left leg, toes up towards the ceiling. Half splits. Breathe in and lift halfway. Bend into the left knee. Tuck your right toes and send the left foot back to meet the right. Exhale to downward facing dog. Using blocks for this pose is wonderful, especially if you have wrist issues. Blocks helped me to heal from a wrist injury while I was doing my yoga teacher training. Good. Breathe in and lift the heels. Bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. Step the right foot all the way up. Drop the left knee. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend into the right knee and step the left foot up to meet the right. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Lift halfway. Exhale to sink the hips. Inhale to lift the arms. Chair pose. Breathe in, come all the way to standing. Exhaling, palms down through heart center. And to your sides, Tadasana. Good. One more on the other side, and then we'll do our sun salutations. Breathe in, lift your hands. Exhale, chair pose. Sink the hips, palms to heart center. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands. Step the right foot all the way back. Drop the knee and untuck the toes. And inhale to lift your hands towards the ceiling. Anjaneyasana. Exhaling to plant the hands. Straighten through the left leg. Half splits. Breathe in and lift halfway. Bend into the left knee. And we'll tuck the right toes. Send the left foot back to meet the right. Here we'll do our chaturanga. So in chaturanga, you lean forward slightly on the toes so that when you lower down, your wrists and elbows are aligned. And we come halfway down, pull the heart through, untuck the toes, inhale, up dog. And my legs and my belly are super engaged here to keep my low back protected. Knees are floating off the ground. Exhale over, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, gaze towards the hands. Step it all the way up. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good. Breathe in, lift halfway. Sink the hips and open the arms. Come all the way to standing. Palms down through heart center. Tadasana. Wonderful. Let's do a couple of sun salutations. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, lift halfway. Plant the hands, step, float, or jump it all the way back. Lean forward slightly on the toes, and then lower down, keeping the elbows close. Hold the heart through, open the heart, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right foot up, right behind the right hand. Turn the left foot to a 45-degree angle, and breathe in to lift the arms. Warrior one. So here the knee and the ankle are aligned. And if you need to, you can step your left foot over to the left a bit to make room for both hips to face forward. We're super strong on the outer edge of the back foot to protect the knee from any torque. Gaze towards the hands, shoulders are soft. Exhale to plant the hands. Step the right foot all the way back. Lean forward on the toes. Lower down halfway. Breathe in. Open the heart. Up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot up so that it's right behind that left hand. Turn the right foot 45 degrees or so and breathe in to lift your hands towards the ceiling. Warrior one. Again, keeping the low ribs in and down is gonna center the hips underneath the spine. So we're opening this right hip quite a lot, keeping the outer edge of that back foot strong. And then exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back to meet the right, lower down halfway, pull the heart through, inhale, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in to lift the heels, step floater, jump it all the way to the top of the mat, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, inhale to chair pose, lifting the arms. Inhale, come all the way to standing, palms down through heart center, breathing out to Tadasana. Good. Inhale, lift the hands, exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step the left foot all the way back. Drop the knee and untuck the toes. Inhale to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, down, plant the hands. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Take a moment in your child's pose. So we're just doing a variation of sun salutations. Tuck the toes. Exhale to down dog. And then step the left foot all the way through. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift the hands, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees. Open the arms. Coming into chair pose just for a moment. And then inhale all the way to standing. Palms down through heart center. Tadasana. So you may have noticed that there's the kneeling version using Anjaneyasana, or there's the standing using Warrior One. And you can also take a moment to straighten the right leg and go into half splits before moving into standing. So choose your variation, standing or kneeling. We'll do one more and then we'll settle in. Breathe in, lift the hands. Exhale, let's sink the hips, chair pose. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step the left foot all the way back. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale to Anjaneyasana. Or you might be in Warrior One instead. Exhale, palms down. Maybe we straighten through the right leg. Tuck the left toes. Send the right foot back to meet the left. Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Step the left foot up. Again, maybe Warrior One or Anjaneyasana. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes. Send the left foot back to meet the right. This is your vinyasa. Leaning forward on the toes, lower down halfway. Pull the heart through. Untuck the toes, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat, and step or float or jump your way there, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees, open the arms, come all the way to standing, gaze towards the hands, palms down through heart center. Tadasana. Wonderful. Breathe in, lift halfway, or all the way, excuse me. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step all the way to the back of the mat. We'll exhale straight to down dog. And then take the knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, and sink the hips down to your child's pose. Walk the hands all the way back to come to kneeling. And we'll go to standing on our knees or kneeling with our toes tucked here. You can, if there's any pain at all, we'll stop, right? We don't do, sensation's okay, but pain is not. I like to bring my fingers face up with my palms to my low back and squeeze the elbows close. And make sure that however you are supporting your low back, you can have your palms here with the fingers face down. However you're supporting your low back, just make sure that you're not collapsing in the back. So we're still keeping the belly really active, bringing the low ribs in and down, and then pushing the hips forward so the whole spine is lined up. And then keeping this nice, beautiful engagement of the spine and the legs, we start to lift the heart, squeezing the elbows close, the shoulders close, lift the heart, and we're pushing the hips forward without compromising any lift in the low back or anything in the abdomen. We're super strong. Lift, lift, lift. You can have your hands on the heels one day or on blocks. Camel pose. And then we'll slowly come all the way back up, lift the hands. And as you exhale, sink the hips down. What I like to do from here is go into rabbit pose. So rabbit pose, we tuck our chin to the chest. I'm gonna have my toes tucked. My hands are gonna be at my feet. And I'm rounding, rounding, rounding to bring the crown of the head down to the mat. Now, if the top of your head can go to the mat and your forehead is within about an inch of your knees, you can lift your hips and holding onto your feet, you can maybe lightly massage the top of your head against the mat. And the ability to bring the forehead down close to the knees comes with time as your body gets used to this shape. Rabbit pose. Good. I'm going to untuck my toes, let the hips sink down, and then first straighten the spine before I come back up. And then I'll send my feet to one side or the other, let them lengthen long. And then I'll bend the knees in order to come into my forward fold here. So find length in the spine. And then I like to come into a supported fold by, again, maintaining this connection with the thighs with my torso. Clasping the elbows underneath the knees. Keep that connection and start to push through the heels of the feet. So we're not rounding in the spine necessarily. We're keeping a nice straight spine, keeping nice long legs, and we're supported the whole way so that the low back isn't being injured or taxed. This is how we maintain injury prevention in our practice. You might wiggle the hips a bit side to side to make a little bit more room. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. And then exhale and fold. And you can round now as much as you need to in the back. Again, keeping the knees bent as much as you need to feel comfortable and supported. And breathe deeply into the humility of this pose. Just a few more deep breaths. And then go ahead and walk your way all the way up. We'll bend the knees, send the hips forward, and slowly come all the way down. You can bring your block with you if you like. So I'm going to bring my fingertips behind my head And lift the head to tuck the chin, and then lightly just send the head right back down. So the spine is long all the way through the crown of the head here. And squeeze the shoulder blades together. Palms are going to be face down on either side of the hips. Plant your feet hip distance apart, as close to the glutes as you can, and push directly into the feet to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Bridge pose. Squeeze the belly in towards the spine and feel an activation of the inner thighs and the glutes. So we're keeping the knees hip distance apart. Don't let them splay out. Super active in the backs of the legs. If you need to, you can use a block underneath the sacrum for support. My hips are pretty high, so I'm going to be sending this to the block to the third setting. But you might be down here or even down here. And the sacrum is that triangular shaped bone right at the base of the spine, underneath the vertebrae, so not on the spine itself. One more breath here. You can interlace the fingers and squeeze the shoulder blades a bit closer if you like. And then we'll release the hands if you have them and exhale all the way down, one vertebra at a time. Take the knees into the chest and give yourself a big hug. And then go ahead and open up, laying down on your mat. Maybe the feet splay out a bit wider than they usually do. Maybe your hands are open towards the ceiling or towards the sky. And if you'd like, you could bring a block underneath the head or the shoulders or the sacrum. Just choose what feels most comfortable for you. And when you get here to your final resting pose, let's take a deep breath in and let it go. And another deep breath in. Release. Last one. Inhale. Hold the breath. Feel that energy locked in at the base of the spine. And release any tension. Just be here now in your Shavasana. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like. Be sure to thank yourself for showing up for your practice today. The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. I'll see you next time. Namaste.